I'm Ziad Abi Chaker. I'm not here to talk about what Cedar Environmental does. In one sentence, what we do, we're an environmental and industrial engineering company. We're for profit. We design recycling plants on the communal level to treat all the garbage that communities produce. But I have been involved in what now they dub as CSR since I was in my very early ages. It was 1995. I was taking a summer course at Rutgers University for my master's degree in industrial engineering. And the first slide the professor put up was this one, quoting Konosuke Matsushita, who is the founder of the Panasonic empire. And I looked at that slide and I said, oh my God, this is going to be a long summer. But then it started hitting with us, you know, it was a small class, and this guy was really full of heart, I guess, and he was sick and tired of the daily BS that goes on in the corporate world. And he always asked us, is what is good for your company good for your community? And if you answered no to that question, you have to reconsider the business you're in. And I find this to be extremely powerful because there's a lot going on here in this reconsider, and this is why I put it between quotes. If you're in a business and you're destroying the environment, you'd better reconsider yesterday because you're not going to be able to sustain. You're not going to be able to sustain your business model for long. Okay, we only have enough mountains, we only have enough rivers, enough streams. We only have enough air, actually. And now our generation and the next 25 years are going to be really interesting because we have to deal with climate change, and climate change is a fact. And what are we going to do about it? CSR is not a fad. Okay, everybody knows CSR, everybody's doing CSR, okay? Conducting your business ethically and honestly does not amount to CSR, I'm sorry, okay? يعني أمتين كانت option هيدي, I don't know. I didn't get that email. It's the basics of doing anything. It's the basic of any human relationship, business or otherwise. You behave ethically and you behave honestly. Because in any good legal system, it's not CSR you would be doing, it's JAIL. So please, let's, and I think we live in very interesting times now, extremely interesting times, and not just in the Middle East, because our generation and the two generations that have to come after us are going to reinvent government. Government as a service provider is a dying entity. And I'm not just talking about Lebanon, although we are on the forefront of that research and development project. But look around you. Look in Greece, look in Portugal, in Spain, whole Europe. Look in the US. Management, healthcare management in the US. Is the government providing that service? No. We're going to have to reinvent government as a fair and honest arbitrator, and he's going to let the smart, the active, the dynamic do what they do best, provide service. But it has to be done in a fair and honest way. My experience with CSR has been the following, and I've been involved in a lot of them, and not just on my own company basis. It has to be embraced at ownership level. You know, you have this CSR department, that's fine. If your CEO, if your owner is not embracing that philosophy, you're not going to go anywhere. Okay? It's fine. It's going to take a lot of trial and error to get it right. You can't get it right from the first time, and you have to be persistent and committed to it. And don't think of it as charity. CSR is not charity, okay? We don't have to compete with all these charitable organizations. They have plenty to do. CSR has to be very smart, You have to be extremely innovative and extremely creative in your thinking in establishing them. And it's not just only your responsibility, it's your responsibility. And this is why for-profit corporations, if they have enough smart people on in their ranks, they have the ability to change. And it is their responsibility to provide that ability. A most likely to succeed CSR venture is a smart, creative solution, and most likely to endure, it has to make financial sense. It has to be sustainably viable financially. You're not gonna finance an open pit all the time. So my experience with it has been to provide a seed fund for a smart idea, and it took a lot of tweaking to get it to work, but then it rolls on its own. It has to roll on its own. It has to financially sustain itself. Now, it helps if you pick something within your knitting, okay? If you're a bank, you want to do CSR, you know, don't go finance movie theaters, you know. Stick to something that you know, that really is close to your area of business. My CSRs. This is our machinery plant. It's in a quarry. Isma Abu Mizan. It's in the Matan area. The lower part, this is how we got the quarry. The upper part, this is how we started. We built the first aesthetically and environmentally responsible plant within the area. And then, this is what we did. We bought 4,000 cubic meters of red soil. That's a lot of money. We planted 125 fruit trees, 100 ornamental trees. We have 5,000 square meters of veggie yards, organically grown. We have now a dedicated staffer that all he does, he's our gardener, and we pay him. But I can't bankroll it all the time on my own. This is why we're creating something like where I have a lot of friends who have small kids, and they want to tap in. They want our lettuces and our eggs and whatever we're doing. And this is how we're gonna bankroll this guy and keep planting. And we want to provide a model that quarries can be salvaged. We can do something with it. The next CSR I was involved in, I was coerced into it. It's called GRIL. That's the Green Glass Recycling Initiative for Lebanon. In 2006, Israelis destroyed the only green glass manufacturing plant we have in the Bekaa. It was called a Maliban company. It was an Indian-owned company who did not want to reinvest in Lebanon. Since then, 60 to 70 million bottles of beer and wine end up in our landfills or in our forests. So if any of you here is a beer maker or a wine maker, what should have been your CSR since 2006 has been my WTF since 3 years now. We operate our recycling plants on the mantra of zero waste. We don't want to throw anything. And this is what we did. We built a chipping line so we could transport the bottles efficiently. We agreed with some glass-blowing artisans. We gave them some funky designs. We don't want to do the Ka'b Ergili or the Bri Mai. So we gave them some funky designs. And then we agreed with a distribution company. We told them, you know what? You should get involved in CSR. They didn't know what CSR was. And what you do, you have a distribution fleet. Why don't you take these products into supermarkets? And that is done as well. Our full-fledged production of these, we have about 15 different designs, not just cups, is awaiting seed money, which we secured, and it's going to be here next month. And then we're going to engage the public, and then we're going to try to self-sustain the initiative on its own, where it becomes a closed circle. We provide the raw materials. The artisans have found jobs because that was a dying industry. And then, you know, the rest is going to take care of itself. That guy left us with this slide. He said, don't ask what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive. And then go and do that. Because what we need is people who are alive, and they can take care of everything else. Thank you very much.